think we do have no choice but to just slam the Titan here, so... Into play. Playing around nothing. Thirst for knowledge, please? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for round 3 with the list that you see on screen right here. We are currently 2-0, doing pretty well so far. Maybe we can keep up our lead, but of course, even if we end up 2-3 at the end of this league, worst case scenario, all will be well, as we are here for the learning and the entertainment and the enjoyment. So keep in mind, if you do gain any of those things out of this video, then at the end of the video, once you've watched through, make your decision then. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Not before then, though, because I don't want you to subscribe unless you know what you're subscribing to. Regardless, we are here to play some more Amulet with the Khalni Garden tech here over the Field of the Dead, since that one is now banned, gone, get out of here. And yeah, I'm just excited to jump into this match. I will see you guys for the games. Wow, immediately paired too. Just as soon as I pulled this up, immediately got the pairing. Playing against Montego 6, the 6th one. Very important. We got a turn 2 3-drop, and if we don't draw it, then we can start to try to find an amulet or something along those lines. On the draw, I feel like this is a pretty easy keep. Turn 1 Urza's Tower, huh? That one's kind of... I don't know how to feel about that. This could be Eldrazi Tron, which would be good. This hand doesn't stack up very well against regular Tron, however, and we only have Ghost Quarter in the sideboard for this list, if I'm not mistaken, so we could be in a little bit of trouble here, but we'll see. I'm gonna check the board real quick. Yep, Ghost Quarter's in the sideboard, so we have to fare through game 1. Ooh! Oh, hold on. We're playing against Mono Blue Tron. Oof, we got an actually interesting match here. How about it? Let's go ahead and cast the Stirrings. Definitely taking Amulet here, I think. I think that makes sense. And any order of these guys, we don't care about that. Don't know if we want to put our Symbiosis into play. That way we'd have to pick it up with a bounce land later on, and that denies us some amount of value. I'm going to put a green source into play and pass it back. No need to attack with the Grazer for value. Not this time. We'll keep that secret tech in reserve. They're gonna immediately, straight off the bat, field our Simic Growth Chamber. No fear. I mean, I guess they don't have to worry about Field of the Dead anymore, so what else are they gonna hit with Field? Valakut, maybe? I imagine they have a Dismember for our Arboreal Grazer. It's a very threatening card. Summoner's Pact? So I'm not really worried about something like Cryptic Command. So we could potentially pack 4 and cast a Dryad. That said, our opponent could have Condescend for 1 or Remand on our Dryad, and that would basically kill us on the spot, so we don't really want to play into that. I think we're just playing Radiant Fountain and passing. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and commit the attack with the 0-3 this time. Give our opponent the fear. If they hit us for 2 with a Snapcaster Mage, then, whatever. Of course, they're cracking map here. I wonder if they find a Academy Ruins or a second Tron land. They find the Power Plant. Alright. This is definitely a matchup where Cavernous Souls will be quite good. They do play that Power Plant. Alright. Garen Brig. Okay. I mean, we could play Garen Brig and then just tighten them this upcoming turn, or we could pack for a Dryad and play it through Condescend for 2, although it doesn't really play around Remand, and then we'd tap out the turn after, so I feel like just tossing the Garen Brig out and passing it back is fine. It really irks me to have to play these slow games, because I want to just cast spells. That's why I'm playing Amulet of Vigor. I want to put in my lands and do the combo thing, but really in these types of matchups, it's best to be a little more patient. Our opponent does have Academy Rune, so this upcoming turn they'll have access to Tron if they want it. Or maybe they won't, considering they're, playing something here. Karn, Scion of Urza. That's not one that you see every day. 4 mana, 5 loyalty, Planeswalker, a Karn, of course. +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your library, and opponent chooses one, put that card into your hand, and put the other into exile with a silver counter on it. -1 to put a card you own with a silver counter from exile into your hand, and -2 to make a 0/0 artifact that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess we're slamming Titan into Remand. The card that we choose will be put into their hand. If we give them the repeal, they can repeal our Amulet, but then we just slam Titan, which is probably fine. I don't know if they've played a land this turn. I think they did. Yeah, they played Academy Ruins. So we can safely give them the tower. They can always just minus Karn next turn for the tower to put it into their hand and then play it anyways. So it's not really functionally different. I guess we either want to deny them of being able to repeal this upcoming turn versus not caring. I think we would rather them have the tower in hand and have to minus for the repeal. It's possible that they have Condescend and not a Remand, and they're hoping that Condescend for 1 is enough, but... And I guess it would be... Wait, no, we can float a red, activate Garenbrig, and have Condescend for 1 covered, so... Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just playing into Condescend for 1. Can yield to this Amulet trigger, as long as we have exactly 1 Amulet in play. I guess we just go ahead and pick up the Fountain here. Try to make land drop progress. That makes sense to me. Also, gaining 2 life. Come on. You're gonna ignore that? It's extremely important. Alright, we'll play a Titan with Condescend covered. Remand or bust. Of course, they have the Remand. Why else would they make this play? Alright, and we're passing it back. You know, we'll just, we'll do it live. Try again next turn. If at first you don't succeed, slam your Titan again until it resolves. Or until it doesn't. Who am I to assume that my Primeval Titan will resolve and stay in play? Goodness me. They're plussing Karn again, and now they will definitely have a Condescend if we put it in their hand, so I'm going to give them the island, of course. Leaving their Condescend and repeal in exile here. Ooh, they don't have Tron. For some reason, I thought they had Mine and Power Plant in play, so the tower, putting the tower in their hand was actually just fine. Are we slamming Titan into another potential Remand or Condescend? I think we probably should. Our opponent only has 6 cards left in their main board 60 here, probably, that can actually counter Titan or interact. I could see them using Thirst for Knowledge to try to find one of those effects. Sadly, we can't play Dryad into Titan. I think we're just slamming Titan and hoping that it works. Alternatively, I suppose we could cast 2 Dryads this turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. We could play double Dryad. That doesn't really help us. Although, we don't need too terribly to clock this Karn. I mean, the -2 is just making a 2/2 creature anyway, so we don't care about that. This is mainly drawing them a card every turn, I guess. Which is still not something that we love, but... 4, 5, 6, 7... So they can actually repeal for 6 to bounce our Titan as well. That's interesting. We could always play Titan, get Valakut and a bounce land, and then play Dryad and get Valakut triggers afterwards, or like Valakut, Vesuva, copying Gruul Turf, so we can get 2 Valakut triggers to potentially pressure our opponent's Karn. We even would have a second land drop from the turn for the Dryad to clear the Karn, assuming they didn't have an answer to the Dryad. So that might be better than hasting, just to play around the repeal. I think we do have no choice but to just slam the Titan here, so... End of play. Playing around nothing. Thirst for Knowledge, please? Condescend for 2. Alright, you got us. You win, okay, opponent? You get to counter my Titan and scry 2. Life will go on. We'll continue. I mean, we still got 3 more threats to cast after this. Although, these Turn-Temper Symbiosis, probably not that highly likely to hit a Primeval Titan. I mean, we could make ourselves a pretty threatening Dryad, Grazer, or Azusa off the top as well with these Symbiosis. So, Symbiosies? Put it in the comments if you know what the plural noun for symbiosis is. Map. Alright. Crack map, I'm assuming. Or just pass. I mean, that's pretty understandable too. Is this a minus? Okay, they're getting Condescend in their hand, it seems. Although it didn't say that here. I would expect it to say what card they put in their hand, but we do know that it is a Condescend. They're going to map for the missing Tron piece and put it into play. This is all fine and good. And by that, I mean, there's not much we can do about it. 4 mana. Karn GC. Great creator himself. Itself. Does Karn have a gender? I don't actually know. Mindslaver. Okay. I see what's going on here. Holding up Condescend for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. So 6 to play, Mindslaver. Ooh, did it actually show us the Mindslaver? It's probably over here, yeah. So 6 to play, 4 to activate. There's 10 mana plus 2 to activate Ruin. So they do have the Mindslaver lock on us. We have to win this turn. I don't really think that's going to be possible. Oh, we have Cavern, so we can force through our Primeval Titan. But we don't have Ghost Quarter, so there's no particular way... There's no particular way for us to win here. I guess we could attack with our Titan, get Vesuva copying Cavern, and Valakut. That would be 8, putting them to 12. Play land afterwards, assuming that I guess we could play Turn-Temper Symbiosis. And that would be enough to put them to 6. But we also have to use one of our land drops to get the Titan into play in the first place, assuming our Summoner's Pact would resolve. Weird. I don't think we have a way to win here. I'm going to lead on the Summoner's Pact and just see what happens. They'll probably... Actually, I guess they don't Condescend this. Then we can Cavern in our Titan. Which I don't think we have a choice but to do. Still don't necessarily think that this is good enough, though, in all honesty. Let's see. We can float the red, activate Garenbrig, like this. Leave 2 floating, play Titan. One of those is a red. Get a Valakut and the Haste land. That doesn't actually... I guess Crumbling Vestige... No, I mean, we have to get a Haste land here. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that we have it in a way that we can win, sadly. We might be able to get our Dryad into play before we actually, like, attack with our Titan. Not in a way that it can't be countered, though. And that we'd still be able to attack with the Titan. If we got Valakut Vesuva right now, we could copy the Cavern, play our Dryad, play a single land and only get one Valakut trigger. I don't think what we can do here is good enough. Yes. I suppose that we could get Garrison and Stronghold, and then play Dryad, hoping that our opponent has yielded. There's no way that they're going to have yielded, though. So I guess we just haste and attack. I think we're just dead here. We'll see if our opponent counters our Dryad, because if they do, then we are dead. Alright. Condescend for 3. Alright, let's go to game 2. A little too slow, that game. Alright, so against Mono Blue Tron, we want Ghost Quarter, of course. We want these Veil of Summers, and probably Beast Within as well to deal with Planeswalkers. I don't know how I feel about things like Reclamation Sage and Force, because I guess they do hit things that our opponent can get from their Karn board, but I don't know how impactful that is. I think Sage is fine. Force is like a little narrow. We definitely want trackers. We definitely want negates. I think I'm going to leave Force for now. Okay, we can board out Grazers. We can board out maybe a Summoner's Pact. I don't like Symbiosis here either. Explosives is dead. I like Explore. I mean, maybe the Sage is not fantastic. It's probably worth having, though. Can board out one Garen Brig. Although, yeah, I guess boarding out a Garen Brig is fine. Alright, on the play, of course. A turn 1 Amulet hand and a turn 2 Explore. Or if we draw a bounce land, a turn 2 Dryad, so I'm certainly keeping this. We have Cavern to force through these Dryad as well, so things are looking pretty decent. Probably casting Explore this upcoming turn, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. EE on 1. Like, okay. Yep, definitely casting Explore. Growth Chamber. We could cycle and Explore here. It's not even cycling, because we could make land drop progress, but I think we might want the Growth Chamber in hand here. Alright, I'm just going to play the Garen Brig and pass. See if our opponent just immediately pops explosives. They might. Knowing that our opponent can pop explosives and get rid of our amulet, we may want to consider leaving our Growth Chamber in play for the upcoming future. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and fire it off now. That would be understandable. It's going to be nice to have some Dryads in play to clock potential Karn the Great Creators and whatnot. Azusa. I still think I mean, actually, if we want to resolve a Dryad, we can do so at any time thanks to this Cavern, unless our opponent has Field. But even then, they'd probably have to fire it off during their main phase and we'd still be able to cast a Dryad, so that's probably fine. This is the best turn to resolve Azusa. Alright, I'm just going to play the Azusa. And now we pass it back. Next turn, we can play Dryad plus Explorer, or if we find any untapped land source or another bounce land, for example, then we can play Dryad, and save the Explorer. That would be playing into Oblivion Stone. Don't know how worried we should be about that. Spreading Seas. Okay, well, we'd still like to find a bounce land off the top. Don't know how I feel about them hitting the growth chamber instead of the cavern. Oh, and we did find that bounce land. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and cast this Dryad right here. And we'll Sanctuary, picking up our growth chamber, picking up our cavern, I suppose, to protect it, and so that we can name Giant later on. If we just have to replay it to play cavern, or to cavern through our Dryad, that's probably fine as well. Of course, if we just top deck a Titan, then we can cavern through Titan, and things are easy peasy. I guess would be one way to say it. We can probably even haste our Titan. Maybe not, maybe not. Depends on if we top deck a bounce land or not. Or even, like, if we top deck Crumbling Vestige, a bounce land, or the Stronghold, then we can haste our Titan if we... Well, I guess we'd have to top deck one of those things and the Titan, so... Don't know what I'm thinking. Our opponent has assembled Tron. And we currently have almost as much mana in play as they do. We're doing it the hard way, however. Our opponent is tanking as well. Not sure what they're wondering. They just pass, huh? Alright. I guess we can start by casting Explore. Stronghold, okay. So we can play Dryad and haste the new Dryad. I mean, I guess it's the plan. And I don't think we need to play the land that we have in our hand. Might as well just save it. We're going the fair beats route. Our opponent is making 3 mana here. Snapcaster Mage. Oh, Snap Dismember. Alright. I mean, I say that as if it's perfectly fine. We don't have a whole lot of things going for us at the moment, so... We will serve with our Dryad. And pass it back. I don't know, I just feel like we somehow ended up with no resources. And our Cavern is in play already naming Dryad, so we can't hope to just top deck and slam a Titan. I mean, I suppose our opponent could theoretically just not have interaction for a Titan, but... Or, I mean, they could also, like, tap out Mindslaver, that's fine. That actually doesn't do anything right now. Explore, alright. Well, I mean, we'll cast that. Amulet. I don't see why we shouldn't play it. I guess we just leave the land in hand again. And we'll haste our Dryad here. Mainly for the +2/+2 and Vigilance, of course. And put our opponent on a 2-turn clock here. Pass it back. If our opponent wants to do the meanness of Mindslavering us and then playing our Snow Forest for us. Ooh, man. I don't know if I can withstand that kind of straight-up blatant rudeness. Trinket Mage, okay. That one's pretty okay. I don't know if our opponent will see it. I feel like they will. But they can Stronghold their Trinket Mage to block and kill our Dryad. Or trade with it, at least. Let's hope that they don't notice that, but they probably will, and they should. Oh, they found Academy ruins. Negate. Well, I mean, they can't do any damage to us just based on what our hand is, but sadly they get to untap and take a turn after this. So it's almost like they're taking an extra turn. They didn't see the line where they could have us attack our Dryad into a lethal Trinket Mage. Well, that's good for us. I guess they're just planning on setting up the loop here. They currently have 7, 8, 9, 10. So, Tower. But they would need the Academy runes also, so. Ugin, okay. I mean, Titan off the top still does things, especially since we have Negate for backup, so. We could, actually kill this Ugin if we top deck Titan right now. If we top deck Titan right now, that's not Titan. I mean, we gotta cast this. Tolaria West, but no way to transmute it. Feels bad. It feels real bad. I mean, there's not much we could do. Do we play the Tolaria West? That way any bounce land will let us transmute, whereas right now we need to find specifically a blue source. We probably should be playing the Tolaria West here, I would think. And we'll pass it back. They put back the Mindslaver, of course. That's fine. We'll probably attempt to counter the Mindslaver. They can deal 3 to us. That's not a problem. Let's see, they do have enough to activate this Mindslaver, so I'm just going to go ahead and negate now. And again, we would like to top deck Primeval Titan. Please. Primeval Titan. Crumbling Vestige. Well, I mean, we would have been able to transmute if we had held the Tolaria West, but. I mean, we'll play a land and pass. Mindslaver is back. Yep, our window is disappearing here. Hey, we have a bounce land. Our opponent will probably, if they're savvy, they'll put the. I guess actually they can transmute our Tolaria West and fail to find. Come on, man. I think they found the line, too. I guess not. So there's still a chance. No, they untap the Growth Chamber, so it's fine. I mean, fine for them. They can still transmute and fail to find, so. Yeah, things are looking really not beatable now. Click, 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 click. Come on, Summoner's Pact. We're trying to choose you. I see you right there. Come to us. We need you. It's not working. Help. Put it in the comments. Summon the Summoner's Pact. What? Oh, they're pacting and then they're wasting the Summoner's Pact. I thought for a second that our opponent was doing us a heavy solid, but no. Titan, come on. Come to us. We're trying to pick you, Titan. Reclamations. Oh, to blow up our own amulet. Rude. Rude. You see the types of indecencies we have to suffer? Hopefully, you guys are enjoying my physical and emotional abuse here. Got an Ugin on 10 on the other side of the battlefield. Our opponent drawing Talisman is fantastic news. Let's not lose the game. I'm not going to be the memer that just goes ahead and loses the game out of spite. Titan off the top. Explorer. Okay. Titan off the top. Not you, Tolarios. Why? Alright. We're not technically dead. Let's transmute. We'll get Summoner's Pact and pass it back. Our opponent's about to minus 10 their Ugin. No problem. Gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, put up to 7 cards, permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. No big deal. Mindslaver. See, the thing about that is, if we cast the Summoner's Pact, they can choose not to pay the Pact trigger. But if we don't cast the Summoner's Pact, then they cast the Summoner's Pact and fail to find. I guess we actually punted by transmuting this Tolarios ourselves. Although, if we had waited to transmute the Tolarios, then our opponent would have just transmuted it themselves and failed to find, or even worse, found a Summoner's Pact and cast it. So I guess it's really not all that different, but our opponent's basically just taking an extra turn every other turn. Got some Omen of the Seas coming into play here, and a bunch of lands. I'm pretty sure this is just the lock, right? This looks like enough mana. Our opponent can now just put Mindslaver back on top of their library every turn and take all the turns, take all of our turns for us until... You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do our opponent the decency of letting them kill us with Summoner's Pact. And you know what card I want? I wanted to get Grazer, but I can't find it, so let's just get Tireless Tracker. Now our opponent can actually win the game instead of taking all the turns. Alright, let's see, opponent. Are we choosing to pay the pack trigger or no? This is just a fancy way of conceding. Alright, well, we got our first loss to Mono Blue Tron. That was interesting, and we lost to our opponent's own hand, if that makes any sense to you. Doesn't really make sense to me after I've even said it, but yeah, that was interesting. Let me know what you thought of the match, if you thought that I could have done anything differently, and I will see you guys for the next one. This is Redface Menace, signing off.